Hey, what's up, folks? It's me, JC, over here at Dr. Detail Auto Detailing and Window Tinting. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to clean up this headlight. I did it about 3 years ago. It's starting to go bad again. It's typical. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect it. I'm going to use a smoked out film because that's what's popular right now. You don't have to use a smoked out film. We can use a clear film. And with the film, period. Let me give you a little example. With the film, as you install your film, what it's going to do is it's going to take all the rock chips, the sun beating on it, the rain, snow, whatever you got going on. Like I said, I do have clear. It's just I'm not using clear application this time. Because like I said, right now what's popular is smoked out headlights, smoked out tail lights. And what it is you basically wrap it with a transparent film. So I'm going to sand it out using a couple of various different stages of sandpaper with wet, because I like it wet. Then I'll grab the rotary buffer and I'm going to get some compound. I'm going to cut it all out, make it look clean, make it look really, really good. So once I do all that, I'll dry it up and then I'll proceed to remove all this stuff and then I'll wrap it. But I like to make sure it's less clean up because the vehicle's already pretty much really, really clean. And another reason is when I'm buffing, just saying something gets weird and the buffer jumps a little bit, it'll just jump on the tape. It won't burn the paint and stuff like that. It won't burn the plastics. The wet, sandy, nasty yellowness and all that's going to come off the headlight. So why not catch it with your paper? Catch all that stuff so when you pull it off, all you'll have is like a little bit of wet residue. Spray it with some soapy water, wipe it down. Good to go. So let's get started. I have everything set up, like I said. It's best just to have everything set up and ready to go. There's several different ways that people sanding their headlights, blah, blah, blah. So I like to start with a really heavy grit and work to a super, super fine. So when I get to that super, super fine, I'm going to start with an 800. Some people start with 6. But it's personal preference. But as you can see already, the yellowness is coming out. I mean, look at that. And all that is just oxidation on the plastic. Plastic oxidizes too. And as you notice, I'm going straight up and down, back and forth. The reason I do that is I don't want to create circle sands. Circle sands are hard to get out. If you have a straight grit with straight lines matching, so say I get the lines this way and then I sand them out and I get them straight up and down. So when I cut, I don't have to worry about swirls and trying to cut the swirls, is what I'm saying. That could be a real pain in the ass. So see how it's turning really, really yellow. With a 600, 800, whatever, it's going to do that. And another good thing about the tape, see, I want to get really close and really tight, and I really want to clean the whole surface. Not only is it going to make my film stick better when I go to wrap it, it's going to look a lot cleaner because once you put a film on here and you don't clean it properly, it's going to expose everything. All your imperfections where you didn't take that extra 20 seconds or whatever it is, because it might just be extra 20 seconds. But as you see as I'm wiping it down, I'm going to do that over and over again, over and over again. I don't really want to spray it and get it super wet, but I do want to get it misted and get it wet. Misted. Get my rolling table over here like I like it. See, the rolling table and the rolling chair is going to make your life a lot easier. I typically do this by air. I'm just giving you a breakdown on how to do it by hand because not everybody has air. Not everybody watching has air. If you do, great. Go to Harbor Freight or somewhere like that, get your little air pistol, get all the adapters. You'll do a headlight in literally minutes. And those of you that are in the shops, you guys already know that. Those of you that just want to, keep your stuff up or have multiple vehicles, and you want to do it fast, that's the way to do it. So say you don't want to wrap it. Okay, not everybody wants to wrap their headlights. Some people want to wrap it clear, some don't. Look at that. I'm sure you guys can see that yellowing. And all that is just heavy oxidation from the plastic going bad. So say you don't want to wrap it, you just want to keep it nice and clean. You have a couple of options. Your options are, one, ceramic coat it with some plastic ceramic for, temperature. What I would use is probably, I would do a test spot, but I would use like a wheel and caliber because it can take a lot of heat. It's a higher, thicker coating, and that will probably last a lot longer than the plastics. The plastics are basically, you can use it on the trim and stuff, but it gets a lot of wear and tear, so it goes bad fast, like 6 months. And basically what the plastics are originated for was to keep your interior hydrophobic and germophobic. So you have the coating on your plastics. The theory goes, if you have coating on your plastic, germs are not allowed to stick and breed and grow because they have to be able to bond to something to grow. If they can't stick to your plastic, they can't grow. So it's starting to look pretty good. And what you're doing on the first step is you're just removing the yellowness. I mean, there's going to be more yellowness, yes. You see over here where it gets super hot, that's where you want to really focus on it. Up here on the top corners, usually on most vehicles, like right here, where the hood comes down and closes, it traps heat. It gets really yellow right there. A lot of guys say, oh, just do it dry. If you do it dry, you have to keep your drill going real fast and don't hold it in one spot. You do it dry with sandpaper, you gotta keep moving around, don't hold it in one spot. Because if you sand it just a little too tough on that plastic, you're gonna burn that plastic and it's never gonna come out. I mean, you might get get it out, but you're gonna remove a lot of plastic off that headlight. This way, it guarantees it's foolproof. It's just foolproof. And it's not gonna get super hot. It's not gonna get super agitated. All right, so now, folks, now it's cloudy. It went from yellow and ugly to cloudy and white. It's okay. Now I'm going to move to a finer paper. Kind of spray it down a little bit. Because I want to remove that oxidation or whatever might be left over. And every now and then, take your towel and just take a swap the dirt around. Now you have a clean two sides. That way when you come and wipe it, let's see what it does. Now when I come wipe it with a fresh side, let's see if it removed any more of the yellowness. Which it doesn't matter, but it's helpful. Yeah, you can't see it in the camera, I'm sure, but it removed just a slight little bit more. So now I'm going to go to a 1000. I'm going to mist my plastic as I said before. I'm going to continue to use it side and side, up and down. As you see, I'm working on this because I'm going to put the wrap all the way up to this water line. So when the hood breaks down over it, it all continuously looks like it's a tinted headlight. There's no gaps in it. As you can see, it's still a little yellow, but it's more white. That's pretty much what you're looking for. You're looking for it to start turning white. And as you go through the different papers, it's going to start looking more and more clear. That's what you want. Starting to get a little dry, so I'm going to add some more water. Scuff it up a little bit. And you can see, folks, it's starting to get more and more clear. Don't forget to work on your corners. Because you'll get to working on it like, yeah, whatever. Corners are important because it gets really yellow in these corners. You see that yellowness coming down? But hitting it with a finer paper and it's removing it. I want to get that out of there. Like I said, I want it nice and clean. I want it to hide these old scratches. That's the original headlight from 2015 on Nissan Pathfinder. So instead of going out and buying headlights, I have to take it to a paint and body shop or a dealership or whatever you want to choose. Mechanic. Have them put in some brand new $200-something a piece headlights. You can spend probably about $250, maybe a little less depending on the size of the headlight. The reason I say $250 for this is because it's so big. If it's smaller than this, then yeah, no, it will be $250. But $250, okay, $250 out the door from your most of your guys, maybe a little bit more depending on who you're dealing with, to get 3 years protection. So go up to your calculator, do the math on that, and you'll be like, what? Really? Yeah, really. And when your wrap starts to fail, will start fading and all that, you want to get it before it starts cracking. You do not want to let it crack. If you let it crack, then you're buying a headlight. Your DA sending it down and redoing it. You don't want to do that. So once it starts to go bad 3 years, you take it off, and guess what? You got a brand new, shiny, clear headlight. So whoever redoes it, say it's me or someone down the road, you're all good. All they have to do is take it off, remove a little bit of glue that might be left, might not be left, and rewrap it. And then you get another 3 years protection. And especially if you have a brand new vehicle. Brand new vehicle, you might want to sell that vehicle one day. So we don't have to put the smoke on there. We can easily put a clear wrap on there. Just keep the headlight clear. Everything's still nice and bright. You still have that safety that you're, in your mind. Because this is not going to make it any darker at night, any lighter, darker in the daytime. All it's going to do with this particular shade, because we're not going crazy dark, it's just going to make it look smoked, like you would do if you bought your headlight from a manufacturer, which all they do is take a headlight, take some clear coat, add a little bit of black paint to that clear coat, spray your headlight, and call it tinted. And call it tinted. So what's going to happen is that clear coat's going to go bad. You're going to sand it down. Now you're going to have like this weird smoked headlight that you can't get this purplish, bluish look out of. So you got to take it back to a paint and body shop so they can repaint it. Or you still spend $400, $500, whatever it is. Because you don't want to go cheap when it comes to headlights, because you can set your car on fire. So go cheap with the headlights if you want to. You might set your car on fire, you might not. So I wouldn't suggest that. Not going cheap. Like I tell people, you go cheap, you get cheap. You go mediocre, you get, pretty good. But if you spend the money and get it done right, which I use Oracal film, which is a German film, and the German film is very good, strong, durable, doesn't typically have much issues as long as you don't get it messed up with soap. Soap will damage it. I know people love to drive through car washes, but those do more damage to your paint than ever will do good. Alright, now do you see how it's starting to turn like a milky white? but the headlight's getting clearer. That's because I keep getting finer and finer with the paper. And the finer you get with the paper, the less scratching that's visible. Because you gotta remember, it is plastic. Give me a little bit of resistance right here. Probably because it's heavy oxidized. Got something going on. Not sure what's happening. I feel resistance. I feel a little trash too. Let me go ahead and clean that off. If you get a little trash in it, it will scratch that headlight, and it's hard to get rid of the scratch. I cannot stress that to you anymore, folks. It's hard to get rid of scratches once you get a sand scratch. I'm not talking about a sandpaper scratch. I'm talking about a literal piece of sand. That stuff is very hard. It doesn't break down in water too well. And eventually it will. I guess if it sits in still water for long enough. You see how it's getting clearer and more clear and more clear and more clear. That's what you're looking for. Keep getting clear. Starting to get clearer at the top. Still see a hair of yellowness, just a hair. But that's because they get so much heat right here trapped. Gets inside that seal. But like I said, once you wrap it, or you just simply restorate the headlight and put a ceramic, or you can use some stuff by McGuire's called Plastic X, like plastic with an X. Everybody I've ever told to use that, and they actually did it. I just had a guy come in that I did a year ago. He's like, I've been doing what you told me to do with the plastic stuff on McGuire's, and check out my headlight. And I tell you what, folks, it was still brand new. Still clear, no yellowness, no haziness, nothing going on. Protection, protection, protection. I can't stress protection. Now it's not giving me that hard, like it is right here, giving me that resistance. But in these corners, it's going to give you a lot of resistance because it's a lot harder, a lot tighter to clean up. All right, I'm going to do my final step, and then we're going to get into a cut. Now, when it started, it was very yellow, very dingy, cloudy, and just not that great looking. So I'm going to get, this is a foam pad because 3000 only comes in foam. It does not come in paper. 3000 is what you want to use on the final finish. Sometimes if you really want to get crazy with it, and you're looking for like that super glassy look, finish it with a 5000. 5000 is hard to find. And then hit it with a 7000. That will remove every hairline scratch. Once you compound it, it'll give it that brand new look no matter what year it was. It will remove a lot of the scratches in the plastic from just aging. If plastic gets wrinkles like we do, but it cracks. That's what it does. Just like our skin will get dry and crack, plastic will get dry and crack if it's not treated. Because it's just getting so hot. Sitting in a parking lot all day, summertime storm comes along, boom, throws cold water on it. Makes it crack like glass. The love bugs that are coming. You take it to a car wash. These guys just come out with a hose, power washer usually. Power wash everything down. Spray some kind of degreaser, usually acid. If they're good, they'll use an APC cleaner. This is just soapy water. They'll use an APC cleaner to where it won't affect your plastics. It won't damage the clear coats on the plastic. Won't damage the clear coat on the paint. It will still remove the bugs. Keep that in mind, folks. Now look at it now. So this is the final step. I'm gonna wipe down real quick so you can pretty much get a good look at it. Now this is what you're looking for. Clear headlight. I'm going to zoom in on that over here in a second so you get a really good look at it. Wow, look at the difference. Look at the difference. If you watch this whole video, you saw it. You saw it change. It's a little bit longer video, but I'm giving you a breakdown on how to do this yourself. No interruptions, no BS, just straight up raw footage. Get out there, guys and girls, and do it. And I want to really focus on this corner over here. Like I said, it gets a lot of heat, and I actually worked on it really hard over here, scuffing and buffing it out with the paper, wanting to remove anything. I really want to remind you, we want to remove all the fine scratches that all the heavier papers put in. Before I got on this headlight, I already cleaned the vehicle. I forgot to say that. If you don't have all this, that's fine. You don't have to go out and buy it all. You don't have to do that. It's not necessary. It's just what I do. I'm a detail shop, and I pay attention to detail. And plus, let's just face it, I don't want a lot of cleanup. Alright, so I'm going to do one more towel. I'm going to do one more towel. Just because the compound does like to sling. And if we just take some old towels you might have and take the time to cover everything up, it will save you a lot of cleanup time. A lot of cleanup time. Alright. I'm going to use a little bit of this compound right here. It's a 400 grit compound. When I tell you, you do not need a lot. You do not need a lot. You can use any kind of compound you want. Heavier grits are going to be a lot more convenient and easier. I'm using a high-speed rotary just so this is real life. Most people don't have all the tools, so I'm going to show you how to do it without all the tools. So I already got it pumped at about 1,500 RPMs. 1,500 RPMs, and I want to keep it moving. I'm using a double-edged pad because my double-edged pads will really get in these tight squeeze areas. You can use a hook and loop. Hook and loops will work. Work this corner. Like I said, it's a tight spot. And I want it nice and clean because everybody's going to see this corner first. And then they'll see the rest of the headlight. said, I don't need any more compound at all. Work this corner is a little hair. Look at that, folks. It takes a few minutes, but in just 20-30 minutes time. 20-30 minutes time. You have a clean, basically a brand new looking headlight. So I'm going to remove everything now, folks. I'm going to use it over there next. But I'm going to remove all my paper, all my tape. Because when I go to put this wrap on, I'm going to use it wet application. You can use it dry. But I like it wet. Because in my opinion, actually, you know what? We'll just do it dry. We'll just do it dry because that's not a bad headlight. It'll be easier for me to show you how to do it dry. I like to use these rags we call diapers. These are lint-free. And plus I wash them by themselves. Because I don't want cross contamination. See, folks, how clean that is now? It's just a little bit of water. Grab up a little bit of water that's there. Clean out my cracks right here. There's no trash and compound or dirt in there because I don't want that in my wrap. But the tape, if it did its job, there's nothing there to worry about. Alright. There's that. I'm going to remove the gloves. They're going to be in the way. You're going to need it. You've got a cord, some tools that I like to use. You can get whatever you want to use. I'm just going to show you what I use. Here's one. Here's two. And this is all I use. I use these two right here with this. So I have a brand new tip, but it looks like it's got a little nick in it, so pop it. Fresh cuts are always good cuts. Just go ahead and get the cord hooked up, because I will need this on and off. Power. Don't really need this anymore. Remove all this stuff. Remove what I do. That's what I like about the old handy work tables. On wheels, my mind you. Get this cord out of the way. Don't want to be tripping over that. I like to keep my area super clean. So now we got some fiber right here. So make sure. I'll roll up my sleeves for this one, guys. Make sure I got nothing on there. Because once you put your wrap on there, I mean, I got more wrap and everything, but when you're doing this for money, you want it perfect. When you're doing it for yourself, do it the way you want to do it. So what I'm going to do, I always fight it like 10. I guess it's an old habit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get me a little side started. It's just like I said, it's just started. It's not going to be anything permanent. Let's get this out of the way. And what I'm using here, and I like to use this, is the Oracal 8300 transparent film. It's, believe it or not, it's a vinyl. It's not a wrap. But a lot of us have been using this vinyl that we call wrap for quite a long time. So here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to take this film, we're going to pull it nice and tight and make a hinge. There's my hinge. I'm going to go ahead and lock that hinge. All that's getting cut off, so don't worry about it. So the easiest way to get rid of all of this and get this to move over, because I measured it, because I used to oversize roll. I use oversized and other sizes to where I can cut it the way I want. Anyway, the best way to do it, you guys are probably going to get pre-cut crap, and they're going to send you a roll just like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here by myself, right? Yep. So I'm going to pull it off my vehicle. And the best way to know this vinyl's ready is two things. It's going to kind of stretch a little bit, and all vinyl is going to make a weird smell. When you start smelling your vinyl, you start seeing your wrinkles pulling out. Oh, there's that smell. And you'll start feeling it kind of like tug a little bit. Make sure you get this whole piece of film hot. And it gets hot fast. Now I feel it tugging. So, I felt it tug on me. I'm going to pull it and I'm going to hinge it up over here. I have that hinge. Have it hinge. And I want to put it over here in the middle. Make a lot of weird noise. Like snap all that stress. Let's just not stress up. Let's make this film manageable. See how it's moving in my hand, folks? Hinge it. Glass it out, hinge it. Look at that, folks. Now we have a little bit of stuff going on over here. We'll get to that in a second. I want to finish my middle. Alright, so it's going to cool down, harden up almost instantly. Glass it out, hinge it. Alright, I see I got need a little stretch right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why I count? Why I counted is because you want to kind of, when you start working with film, you want to know how long it takes for it to heat without overstretching, for one, because you want waste. That's why I give myself plenty of waste. I want plenty of waste. We can always take it off. We can't put it back on. Excuse me. See the wrinkles? See them laid out? Glass it out. Glass it out. Wrinkles. Now I'm going to glass it out. So I'm going to do, now that's hinged, I'm going to pull it back about that far. Because I don't want to disturb my glass. So I'm going to kind of pull on it a little bit before you know. This works great when you have two people, but if you don't, that's okay. Alright, starting to glass. So, like I said, I got a free hand. We want to get these wrinkles out, so pull that away. So I got a wrinkle here, wrinkle there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how the wrinkles are coming out, coming out, coming out, coming out. Grab it, glass it, hinge it. A little bit of wrinkle. This stuff acts just like wrap, but it's a vinyl. Wrap is basically vinyl that's just stretchable. In a workout, probably found out we were doing this, and I'm sure they've modified it a little bit. But we just don't know about it. Can you heat this up a little bit? Blast it out. Blast it out. Here's where it's going to give you a hard time on the corner. You don't want to overstretch your corner. That's why you have lots of waste. Lots of waste. Pull it, stretch it, blast it. I want to hinge it because you need some more heat. You blast it. Right, see it's got wrinkles. Don't know if y'all see that or not. It's got wrinkles. Well, that's it into it. It's got just a little bit of wrinkle right here. I'm going to pull it back. Just want to get some stretch right there too. Read your film. See those wrinkles? Ooh, did you see that, guys? Ooh, that was close. So now I'm going to lock it in because I'm tired of fighting these wrinkles. Wrinkles right here in this corner. I like to pull it back, slap it on there, get my card over here so I can start hinging it up and locking it in. This is where all the stretch is going to go, right here in this corner. So when we got all that stress, we're going to want to work it that way. There we go. The wrinkle's down here on the paint. We want to get that wrinkle to relax because I don't want to overstretch the film that I'm leaving behind. I want to put all the stretch down here, all the stress down there. Got a little bit of wrinkle. You want to use a felt card and make sure it's nice and soft and been sharpened so you don't scratch your vinyl. Right, so what I'm doing, like I said, is I'm putting all this overstretch down here at the bottom. There's a bunch of wrinkle right here. A bunch of wrinkle right here. So what I'm going to do now, instead of putting the heat right here, put heat right here. And that's going to absorb your overstretch. That's going to absorb those wrinkles. That's going to allow you to glass it out. Now, once again, heat these wrinkles. See what I did? They just laid that wrinkle right down. They took all the stress that was up here and it threw it all right here where my fingers are at. And that's getting cut off. A little bit of overstretch right there. So let's get that to relax. You see that, folks? I went whoop, whoop, whoop. I call it feels like Laffy Taffy. If you've ever been to the carnival and the fairs and stuff like that, you see them make real Laffy Taffy. And when they get it hot, because they have to get it hot, it stretches. Yeah, I like to work this hard, stressed out corner so I can roll the stress that way, put it all over here, cut it off. get rid of it. See a wrinkle right there. I want to get rid of that wrinkle. I want it looking just like plastic headlight. You know what? I could get it with fiber. Nope, it was on the outside. Ain't that a god dang gun dang thing? Tip was on the outside. Wasn't no kink, it was just on the outside. Alright, so to the top, because we have a lot of stress at the top, and you want to take and heat up your top, your waist, because the heat is going to distribute down. We're going to distribute down into here. A little kiss. The reason I did that so I could get it to where it will fold and roll. Because like I said, folks, I want to get it right into my brake line. So when the water comes down off the hood and rolls up into the film and up into the headlight, it rolls along and gets out of my way. Alright, I felt it stretch. Push it, push it, push it, push it. There's a little bit of stretch right here, it's all bundled up. So get my waist, heat my waist up. Heat my waist up, give it a little kiss. That little kiss of heat will make all the wrinkles go bye-bye. So on your install, your client, your mechanic, whatever, looks at it and like, man, that thing looks like paint. Not everybody's gonna get it right on the first try. I get it, but the thing is just not give up. Order extra. In case you screw up, you can always redo it. Or you can just come see me. Save yourself a lot of time, a lot of headache, and let me deal with it. Let me pinch it, wrap it, whatever you want to call it. Stir it up here at the top. Remember, it is dry. So, alright, just some stretch. Stretch, 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 stretch. Alright. And just know when you do it dry, you will have bubbles. But in the heat, it will go away. It is vinyl. Vinyl gets hot, vinyl breathes. As long as it's not a dime size bubble, it's just like normal little dots, go away. Very important though, to make sure for the first 2 to 3 days, you do not wash the vehicle. You want the bubbles to go away. You want the vinyl to get sticky and bond. A little bit of a wrinkle. So you want to put a little stretch right there. See, I don't know if you guys see that. Yeah, right. okay? It has a little bit of stretching needs. I'm gonna tack it down. Give it a little kiss of heat so it locks. Don't want it moving back. So you see the stretch where it's got wrinkles on the bottom. That's where you want to get all the stretch and all the wrinkles is at the bottom. Because like I said before, the bottom's where you're going to cut it all off. So sometimes, folks, your thumb, your finger, your pinky, whatever, it is the best squeegee ever. Especially tight corners like that, where you kind of really want to get it locked in. So post heat it. Post heat, post heat, post heat. I can't stress post heat. And what post heat means is I'm locking in my corners here. You can't see it in the camera, but it is wrapping around it. Got a little wrinkle down there, so let's get that wrinkle post heated out. I'll turn this heat down to low. Keeping my heat gun in front of my hand. Up here you want to post heat your corners because you want to get these corners to lock in place. Corners, any kind of corner, any kind of edge, we want to seal it up. Seal it up. Alright, you might see a little bit of water bubbles, like I said, or not water bubbles, but dry spots. You can get a needle and spend hours poking them off, or you can just give it like a couple days for the client. Hey look, give it a couple days, it's going to go away. If it doesn't go away in a week, bring it back, we'll fix it. And you know what? I have never had to do that. I do tell those clients that are like super weirded out, if you'd like, in a couple days, you can take a needle bit. Tight. So take your fingernail first and get your edge to where you see it and just lightly cut it. You want to go towards your plastic, not towards the pan. So this one's going to pain in the ass. So this is where it's going to come in handy. Because it's so tight, but the wrap is not thick. So sometimes it will cut it. That's a little too thick. It doesn't hurt to order yourself some rubber razors. Rubber razors will not cut the paint, but it's going to allow you to cut this thick vinyl. So sometimes the vinyl is a pain in the neck on the tight edges, and you don't want to cut the paint. Wrap it with a bunch of tape, or just get you a rubber razor, dig in that corner real tight, pull it up, pop it out, and then you see this huge little spot. You cut it, cut it. Here, it's tight, tight. And it's just hugged up against the body line. So, like I said, it doesn't hurt to buy a pack of these. You might not need them, you might need them. You never know. It also acts as a good cut tool. You want to tuck that all in. Maybe it might help just to tuck it in with your fingernail. There you go. So this is going to be a nice big gap. You want to put about a tip, complete tip out, and just glide across. Sometimes you're going to try to stick. You gotta make sure you're paying attention to what you're cutting on. You do not want to cut paint. You don't want to cut plastic either. So start in the middle and roll it in. Roll it in. Roll it in. And keep rolling it in. Start over here so it's already tucked. You can just roll it right on in with your tool. Roll it in. You might want to get yourself some really skinny, thin tools. I typically have a really thick one. David Frank might get see. Usually I have like a thin handle tool. You can use an easy reach. Easy reaches are super thin. Allows you to get in there nice and tight. It tucks really well with tight corners. It's plastic, so it will not scratch or anything like that on paint. Like I said, I got it all the way up here in this brake line, and I wrap it up to the other side of the line. Like I was saying, so when it's raining, the water will just roll up, roll down, roll up, roll down. It won't fool around. Alright, so I'm going to start right here in the middle on the poke. See this rubber razor here, poking it, see what I got working. Yep, tight. It's tight. So I don't want to put a blade on it. I want to put the rubber blade on it. And you'll hear it pop and snap, crackle, and all that good crap. Like I said, the blade will actually work as a good tuck tool also as you're trimming. So as I trim, I started up here at the top and I just tucked the whole edge in with the rubber razor. When the rubber razor tucks it in, it's tucked in nice and neat. The rubber razor again, because it's so flexible, I can allow myself to tuck that corner right there. Tuck this corner, get up in there, because you don't want failure. Rainwater especially. It's getting kind of hot, and what we're doing is we're called post-heating again. So what this is going to do is as I heat it up, it's going to wrap up around it and stick to the whatever you're trying to stick to. I want to get that nice and sealed. Like I said, keep the gun in front of your finger. Takes all the water out to the closest spots. Takes it out. Water, air. I'm thinking about window tint. Same concept basically. There's some bubbles. That's perfectly normal. Don't worry about it. In 3 days, they'll all be gone. So I'm watching it in front of my eyes as I do that. It's just wrapping to it. And I'm going to post heat all this up. That way it will bond. And now folks, it looks really cool. You gotta admit, it does look cool. I'm gonna clean this one up. I'm gonna wrap that one so it all matches. I'll leave the tail lights alone. That way I ain't got no idiots running into me. But check this out. 813-741-9300. See ya.